Hello and welcome back. And in this short video, we're going to focus on one particular aspect, and that's the importance of matching the tick speed to the market session using the tick speedometer indicator. And that's really the core of the indicator, which is to help you understand and describe the tick speed for any instrument in any market in any time frame, and the variation, the huge variation you will see whether a market is trading on Globex, on the electronic market, or when the physical exchange is actually open and trading. And as you'll see in a moment, there is a huge variation, and it's so important to understand that if you're trading on the electronic market, then the tick speeds to set your charts to will vary enormously when moving through to the physical exchange which opens. So let's start by taking a look at the tick speeds when the electronic market is running purely on its own. This is just on Globex. And here we are. I've got three time frames here. This is the ES contract, the ES mini. At the top, I've got the time-based charts, the 1 minute, the 3 minute and the 5 minute. And down at the bottom, I've got the tick charts. And I'm just changing these over to reflect the tick settings. You do that through the data series on NinjaTrader. Very easy, very quick to do. Scroll down there. We'll just change that one over to the current setting. Now I've set these all to the closest fib number. And if you watched the first video, you'll know that the tick speedometer presents two series of numbers. The first is the fib number, the second is the actual tick speed. Now, the only reason we have the fib number there, it's nothing to do with Fibonacci other than the fact that it just gives you an option to set your chart to the closest available to the actual. And the only reason for having that in the indicator is that it means that you don't have to change your chart settings quite so frequently. Perfectly fine to use the actual. But the fib number will give you something which remains there for a little bit longer, and so you don't have to change your charts quite so frequently. You can see there on the left that already on the 1 minute ES, we've got to change that. We're now ticking that up. We're going to change that to 233. There we go. So we're now running on 233 tick on the 1 minute. We're on 377 on the 3 minute. And we're on 610 on the 5 minute alongside. As you can see at the top there, the histogram below the tick volume at the bottom of the indicator there gives you a graphical representation of what has already passed. You can see those regions on the indicator where we've had red, where we've moved into low tick activity. The orange is medium activity, and the green is high activity. Now, Globex here, we're running about 9 or 10 minutes before the physical exchange is due to open. And you can see there already we're seeing a pickup in activity. We've moved to green. In fact, we're green across all three time frames, on the 1 minute, the 3 minute and the 5 minute. And you can see that represented on the histogram with the associated tick volume there represented graphically. And down below you have the traffic light system. So we're running on green across all three time frames with a little green traffic light there showing us that we're running in quite a high level of activity ahead of the physical open, which is due in 6 or 7 minutes time, 6, 7, 8 minutes time. Trading on Globex is a perfectly valid way to trade these electronic instruments. After all, the physical market is only open for a few hours. The remaining 24 hours of the day, or certainly throughout the day, the electronic market is available and available for trading. And it's one of the absolute keys of using an instrument such as this, because as you'll see when we move from the electronic to the physical market, the change in tick speeds and the associated tick settings for your charts is enormous. The variation is massive. And to think that you can trade with the same tick settings when you're trading on the electronic market as opposed to when the physical market is open. As you'll see, the variation is massive, and it puts you at a huge disadvantage if you're just using a number that perhaps you've been given by another trader or suggested by another trader. And also if you're using the same tick setting throughout the trading day. It puts you at a huge disadvantage, and the trading risk is massive. If you're trading at the speed, at the momentum of the market, using an instrument such as this, setting your tick charts correctly, you are trading with the market. You are trading at the speed of the market. You can see there on the 1 minute, the tick activity has dropped away a little bit. We've moved to orange there on the orange traffic light system. Not been reflected on the 3 minute yet or on the 5 minute chart. And we've now got 4 or 5 minutes to run to the physical open. As you can see, the tick activity is still pretty much the same. We've got the 233 on the 1 minute, 377 on the 3 minute, and 610 on the 5 minute. And now we're just getting ready for the physical market to open. We've just got 1 more minute before we get to the opening bell. You can see in the interim that we're still running on green. Had a slight dip on the 1 minute, but we're back to green. And of course, tick activity is all relative. You can see there on the histogram, we've got a nice even display of tick volume there, represented on the histogram. But as you'll also see, as we come into the physical open, the tick activity will jump dramatically, as indeed will the tick speedometer settings. So here we go. We're starting on the physical open now. We're still running in green. We're on 233.201 on the 1 minute, 377 versus 440 on the 3 minute, and on the 5 minute, 610 and 636. And now we'll just wait to see. And of course, the first indicator that we'll need to change is where we're trading on the 1 minute. That's the first one that will change to reflect the tick activity on the opening minute bar. And there we go. We've had our first candle has closed on the 1 minute. We need to reset our tick chart. We're going to change that to the closest fib number, 1597. A huge and dramatic increase in tick activity. And that's the difference between trading on the electronic market and trading when the physical market is open. Dramatic change in tick activity. We've now moved that up to 1597 or 1499 if we were trading the actual. And that's the dramatic difference. And you can see there the spike on the histogram. We're running in green. We've got a lot of activity coming into the market. There's always a huge surge in activity as the physical market opens, which is why it's so crucial to be trading the correct tick chart for the markets you're trading. If you're trading on the electronic, then that's fine. You trade on the tick speeds accordingly for the electronic market. When you're trading the physical, then the tick speeds will increase dramatically, as you can see here. We've now dropped down a little bit. We've had 2 minutes of data action. The initial surge, we've now dropped that down to 987 on the tick chart on the 1 minute with the actual 1167. And the next chart that you'll see that activity filtered through to is obviously onto the 3 minute chart, where that tick setting for that chart will increase dramatically also, and ultimately, of course, through to the 5-minute chart. And you can use the indicator on any time frame that you choose. You can go down to the seconds charts if you wish. And typically this will be a typical arrangement of 3 time frames, perhaps a 1, 2, 3 or a 1, 3, 5, whatever your preferred time horizon for your intraday scalping on tick charts. Just going to amend that through the data series. Now we're up to, you can see the dramatic increase. We've gone up to over 4,000 ticks on a 3-minute chart, as opposed to the previous setting, which was in the 300 to 400 tick region. And this is the dramatic change that you see in terms of the tick chart and the settings and the chart you need to be trading when you're trading on the exchange, when the exchange is open, as opposed to just trading on Globex. The ES contract, the ESE Mini, is one of the most heavily traded indices. It is the most volatile. It has the highest tick count of any of the indices by some considerable margin. And in the next video, we're going to look at how tick speeds vary across the markets, across the instruments. Again, there's a dramatic difference between markets, as you'll see in the next video. We'll just wait on this one for the 5-minute to close off, and you'll see the tick activity on that particular chart. You can see we're running on green. Huge amount of activity coming in on the 1 minute there. You've got a nice solid green there, so we're running on green. Lots of activity coming in, the green traffic lights running. The same on the 3-minute. So if we're trading this as a scalping trader, great time to be in the market, waiting for the activity to develop. And we know we're trading in an active market because we're trading in green. We know there's plenty of activity in the market, and the market is going to move. We're not going to be stuck in a sluggish range-bound period of price activity. And there we go, the 5-minute has just updated, and you can see the difference there. Now we're almost up to 7,000 ticks there. We'll just update that one from 610. We're over 6,700. There we are. Massive difference. Several thousand ticks there on a 5-minute time frame for the ESE Mini. And I hope that's given you a probably quite an unusual view of how the tick activity varies and the extent to which it varies when you're moving from Globex on the one hand to the physical market on the other. It's a massive change. It really is dramatic. And it's so crucial to be trading. When you're trading on a tick chart, you're trading momentum. And to have the correct tick speed setting for your charts it's matched to the market speed, the market momentum. And matching it correctly is so important. And this is what the tick speedometer does. It matches it for you automatically as the market speeds up, as the market slows down. That's what it's doing for you all the time throughout the session. It's impossible to trade by either guessing or having one tick setting throughout the trading session. This is a dynamic market, and the tick settings will speed up and slow down throughout the session, and you need to be doing the same thing throughout the session accordingly to keep pace with the market and trade at the speed the market is trading at. It reduces the risk on the trade, and if you're using any other methodology to trade on tick charts, you are increasing your risk dramatically. So I hope you've enjoyed that video, and it's given you a flavor of the tick speedometer and what it does. And in the next video, we're going to take a closer look at the spread of tick speed across the various instruments and how that varies dramatically. And again, one of the key reasons that you need to have an instrument such as this to guide you to the correct tick settings for whatever instrument you trade, and whether it's on Globex or whether it's the physical. So thanks for watching, and see you soon, and bye for now.